Okay, we're getting some calls about fabric pests. People go into their closet and pull out a wool jacket, slacks, something they haven't used in a while, and they start to see some holes in it. A couple of different things that it could be. It could be just a clothing moth, which is a golden colored moth. The wings look like they're torn rather than nice and smooth. And the evidence of those being on your clothing would be a silk strand following wherever the larvae went. Clothing moths and fabric pests eat in the larvae stage. They don't really eat in the adult stage. In the adult stage, they want to mate, lay eggs, and then they die off. So it's the larvae which is creating the problem. Now, so if you have a clothing moth, like I said, which is a golden color, then that is going to leave the silk strands around on your clothing. It's going to look like maybe some spider webs or whatever on your clothing. And then there's another one, it's called a case-making moth, which while in the larval stage, it makes a little case that it carries around with it, and it actually feeds out of either end of the case. And that is silk, that is also made out of a silk strand and also some debris and what have you that they form together. They need that to survive. They cannot survive outside of their case. One way to eliminate the fabric pests is you can take all of your wool and silk items to the dry cleaners and have them all dry cleaned. And what that'll do is that will dislodge the eggs. When they're in the adult stage, they want to lay their eggs as close to or on a food source as possible. So, and that's why you would want to take things to the dry cleaners to get all those eggs off of your clothing. A lot of times wools and silks, you can't just throw them in the washer. Another thing that you could possibly do would be on a nice hot sunny day is to take those items outside and hang them up and let them sit in the sun all day. And then as you bring them in, take a clothing brush and brush them vigorously. Sitting out in the sun all day, what that's going to do is that's going to dry up the eggs that are attached to the clothing. And so by brushing vigorously like that, then you're going to dislodge those eggs from the fabric. And then as you bring them back into the home, then they're okay. The eggs are gone. So as they hatch, you're not going to have larvae on your clothing eating them. So what we want to do is we want to come in and do a crack and crevice treatment. When they go from the larva to the adult stage, they're going to migrate away from the food source that they're consuming, and they're going to go to where the wall and ceiling join, underneath shelving and things like that to spin their cocoon. They want to get to where the warmest, driest point in the home in which they can do that to spin their cocoon. And so we need to pay attention to those areas. We need to pay attention to where the wall and ceiling join together, along the baseboards, and in the shelving and around the closets.